You can be functioning and still not be fine. You can show up for work, handle the responsibilities, smile on cue, and still be completely drowning on the inside. We twist our ability to get things done into proof that we're okay. But surviving the day is not the same as being fine. So today, let's talk about what happens when you keep saying, I'm fine, even when you know you're not. Being professional does not mean pretending you are not human. You can care about your responsibility and still admit that you are tired. You can be strong and still need rest. You can be capable and still need support. And you do not have to wait until you're completely broken before you're allowed to say something is not okay. A lot of us were taught to leave our personal problems at home. It's more professional. You need to keep it together. Do not bring your emotions into the workplace. And there is wisdom in knowing what is appropriate to share and what is not. But sometimes we take that too far. We start acting like being professional means hiding everything. So we keep on saying things like, I'm fine, even when we're exhausted, even when we're overwhelmed, even when we are frustrated, even when we are carrying more than people can see. And after a while, you may start asking yourself, why am I so tired all the time? Why does everything feel heavier than it should? Why do I feel guilty for needing a break? Why am I pretending I am okay when I'm not? How long can I keep carrying this? And the hard part is, from the outside, you may still look like you're handling everything, but on inside, you know the truth. You are not fine. And it's okay to admit that. I understand this deeply because I've handled hard seasons in different ways. There have been times when I kept too much inside, pretending I was okay when I really wasn't. I've had seasons where I showed up for work, answered the emails, handled the responsibilities, and put on that professional face. From the outside, it looked like I had it all together. But inside, I could feel the difference. I was so tired, frustrated, sensitive to things that normally wouldn't bother me. By the time I would get home, I had nothing to give. That's when I realized just because you are functioning does not mean you're fine. Pretending doesn't make the pressure disappear. It just teaches you how to hide it better. I've had to learn that while I don't have to share everything with everyone, I also can't keep lying to myself and then call it strength. We force ourselves to wear masks because we think that's what strength look like. We act like everything's okay because we don't want to be seen as emotional, unprofessional, weak, dramatic, difficult, and on and on. But being honest with yourself is not a weakness. Ignoring yourself until you're exhausted is not a strength. There's a difference between managing your emotions and pretending you don't have any. There's a difference between being professional and disappearing behind the mask. You do not need to fall apart before you're allowed to pause. You do not need to be completely broken before you're allowed to rest. And you do not need to prove that you are struggling badly enough before you are allowed to care for yourself. Sometimes you need to simply say an honest statement to yourself. I am not fine, and I need to pay attention to that. That does not mean you need to announce your whole life story to everyone at work. It does not mean every coworker needs to know and have access to your personal business. It means you need to stop pretending to yourself, because what you are swallowing at work does not always stay at work. It follows you home, and it'll show up in your attitude, your energy, your patience, your relationships, and how you see yourself. So I want you to do a fine check. Ask yourself these questions. What am I carrying right now that I keep pretending is not heavy? Where am I saying I'm fine when I'm actually overwhelmed? What is one thing I need less of right now? What is one thing I need more of right now? Who is a safe person, space, or resource I can be honest with? What is one small adjustment I can make before I hit a breaking point? This does not have to be complicated. Maybe you need to take a break instead of working through every pause. Maybe you need to ask for clarification instead of silently carrying confusion. Maybe you need to set some boundaries. Maybe you need to write down what you are feeling instead of ignoring it. Maybe you need to talk to someone you trust. Maybe you need to admit, even to yourself, I am not okay today, but I can take one honest next step. The point is not to dump everything on everybody. The point is to stop pretending that nothing is wrong when something inside you is clearly asking for attention. You are not weak because you're tired. You are not unprofessional because you have emotion. You are not failing because you cannot carry everything without feeling it. You are human. And being human means there's going to be days when you do not feel fine. That does not mean you're broken. It means something in you needs honesty, care, rest, support, or a little breathing room. You do not have to earn peace by pushing yourself until you fall apart. You do not have to wait until everything spills over before you take yourself seriously. And you do not have to perform fine for everybody else while quietly losing yourself in the process. This week, stop using I'm fine as an automatic answer to yourself. Take 5 minutes. Write down the honest version. You can start with a sentence like, I am not fine because, then write one small thing you need. Not 10 things, not a full life overhaul, one thing. Maybe you need rest. Maybe you need quiet. Maybe you need help. Maybe you need to stop pretending something does not bother you. Maybe you need to give yourself permission to be honest. You do not have to tell everybody everything, but start by telling yourself the truth. You are not fine, and that is okay. And it's okay to admit it before you break. Thank you.